Hello everyone and welcome back again. My name is EnderSexDemon and today guys we've got another Minecraft 1.8 video. So today I'll be talking about another set of topics that will be in 1.8 or changed likely. The ones are combat, weapons, blocks, items and the game engine. So let's quickly start off with the combat and weaponry. So they are planning that they would like to add a new weapon in 1.8, but they've been saying that it's quite hard to actually add a new weapon, which is not going to be too much like the sword for melee and too much like a bow. So personally I think a new weapon is kind of needed, and it's good that they're planning on adding a new weapon, but coming up with a new weapon that isn't like a sword and isn't like a bow is quite hard. So I'm wondering what they're going to do. And there has been talks about Tritons. That's so on the image right now, just at the top, right here. If you can actually see my mouse, right here. So can I see right there? The one that's fading in and out right now. That one is actually the weapon that they've been talking about. So that's obviously not a picture of what it is. That's just a picture I pulled off of Google because somebody's made a Triton before in a mod, I think it was. But yeah, so they are planning on adding Tritons, which is quite cool actually. But so it's a bit more of a long-ranged sword kind of thing, which is quite a decent idea. But I don't know. We can't really say much about it now. Anyway, let's move on. They've also been looked at potions again. So potions in 1.8, I think it was last time, when they was added, they are planning on now changing them, so balancing them a bit more, because strength potions and weak potions don't cancel each other out. So if you get a strength one and a weakness one, splash the same person with both of them, I think the stats go that the strength just slightly outbuffs the weakness, which is not going to happen. If you get a weakness 1 strength and a strength 1 and a weakness 1, it's going to cancel out that buff. So it's literally going to be just default, which is quite cool that they're doing that, but really that kind of thing should have been from the start, if you ask me. But hey. But they did say it's quite tricky to do that, so I don't know. I don't know much about coding yet, so I can't really answer that one too much. They're also planning on redoing the whole combat system at last. Again, I don't know why I'm saying at last, because they have done it before a few times. Because they must have done it about, what now, 3 to 4 times in the past couple of updates, so let's see if this time they actually make it work, because all the other times they just broke it more, and they did add a quite good feature, you know, with the lore. I think it was called. I think it was the lore of the sword or bow. No, the bows didn't have one, which they should. So they should add laws to the bows. They haven't been no talk about that. It's just about just changing the combat. But they should add some sort of law to the bow, like tension, speed, or something like that. So in like MC Edit or MBT Edit, you can like, edit the power of the sword of the bow. Because at the moment, the only way of changing the power of the bow is using the enchantment power, which is quite silly when you can change the power of the sword straight off without adding an enchantment to it. So I don't know. They are also thinking about adding a enchantment which allows blocking with the sword to be a bit better. Now personally I don't think that would work, because one, we've got armor with protection. Protection 4 armor, diamond protection 4 armor, is really powerful and you can withstand a lot of hits. But adding a enchantment to your sword. So let's say you can get level 4 blocking, level 4 full prop 4 diamond armor plus a diamond sword with blocking 4. You're going to be taking literally no damage. It's going to take a really long time to kill you, and you don't even need to fight back really. You just gotta hit them every now and then, which I don't think would work personally. It's a good idea, but I just think it'll be too OP if you got really high prop armor really. So I don't know. It could be fun. We don't know yet until we can try it. So I'm hoping they had that into a snapshot just so we can test it out. Because me and the rest of the Ender Snakes, we will be testing all this out, because we literally do test everything out on the snapshots. So we'll post some videos on that when that all comes. Also, they are working on an enchantment that changes the like the tension of the bow. So as I was saying about the lore, they're also adding a enchantment that changes that. So they don't know what to do with it yet, because tension of the bow is like two different factors go into it. Because the idea, you can draw your bow faster but the shots are weaker, or it's a slower draw but it hits harder. Now yes, I understand that is quite weird, and which one would it go down? So add two enchantments, the like the tension of speed and the tension of hard hitting or something. I don't know, do whatever. But yeah, it's quite cool. So that's everything about combat and weaponry. Moving on to the next topic, which is blocks and items. So they have a lot of ideas for food, as you guys should know if you've been looking around on like Jeb and Dinnerbone's posts. But they have actually came to a conclusion that they may not add any, because of the idea there's too much food in the game. Which, yes, there kinda is. There's too much food. Because out of all the food choices, name how many of them you normally use. All I can name is 3. Pork chops, steak, and every now and then a mushroom stew. That's 3. You don't really use pumpkin pies. You don't really use golden apples because they're not really that useful. Apples are not really useful. Fish is not really useful. It's just 3 things that are normally used on a daily basis: the pork chops, steak, and mushroom stew. So adding more is just going to be quite pointless really, because no one's going to use it unless if it's going to be a bit better than that. Personally, I think they should add one more bit of food and then end the food categories there. And what they need to add is lamb, for God's sake. Every animal now has a bit of meat it drops, apart from wolves, but we don't want to eat dog. But out of all the animals, which ones do you want to drop their meat? Sheep, because lamb. Everybody wants lamb. We don't want horse meat, sod that. We don't want dog meat, cat meat, we don't want no lamb, we just want lamb. So there you go, just add lamb and we'd be happy. Good. They're also planning to add because loads of people want a way of transporting your items around. So currently we have hoppers, which allow us to do this, but people want something more. And they have been saying that they are not going to add pipes. They've already said no pipes, and that's a definite. So they're like thinking, adding a way around this, and what other people have been saying is conveyor belts. Now, one of all that's quite cool that they're thinking about conveyor belts, but personally, conveyor belts won't work in the current feel of Minecraft, because conveyor belts move on their own, right? They don't need, well, they do need power, but they constant move. They don't stop moving. Name how many other blocks and items that completely keep on moving. None. Pistons, you have to activate. You have to keep on activating them to actually go in and out. But conveyor belts would just be working forever, so... And they're too technically advanced for the feel of Minecraft, personally. So, yeah. Also, they have been searching new light sources, so they want a new type of light source, but not just a new type of torch. because they want a new reason to add new lights and then to make something really amazing out of a light source. So instead of having like another type of torch, they want a new thing to be in the game, which is quite cool. They have actually went back to lanterns, but scrapped them again because there's just something not right with them. So hey, we may not have lanterns, but hey ho, who really cares about lanterns anyway? Because torches just light our days. Maybe, I don't know. No plans for a flint storage block still, so sorry. We've recently just got the coal block and the redstone block, but still nothing about flint block, unfortunately. But we don't really need it. I don't know, because I never really have much flint when I'm playing Minecraft, because normally you just throw the flint away or you make it into arrows. So I don't know. Maybe a better way to store arrows would be better than a flint storage. I don't know. No, they're not adding no more small blocks. So as you guys should know, half blocks was made by Notch, and Notch hated them and he wanted to remove them, but the community liked them too much, so he couldn't really. So he left them in. But they have said that they're not adding anything else because of Notch's request to not add anything smaller than half blocks, which is okay. I don't mind, because Minecraft is about building blocks, so adding anything smaller than a block is kind of go against that, kind of. Because if they started making smaller blocks, the next thing we'll be seeing is like, I don't know, like curves and circles and all that, and it just wouldn't fit Minecraft. So it's a good that they're not adding anything smaller, even though we would like it, but that's more for mods, really. Also, somebody did ask Dinnerbone about why can't I make mossy stone brick out of 2x2 moss stone, and he just replied with, "Ha, good question." So that could be coming, who knows. Ender pearls will not be stacking up to 64, they'll be staying at 16 for intentional reasons, because of OPness and stuff. Because if you have a 64, you can spam them over so crazy, be flying all over the place. 16, you could do that, but 64 is that's going to be too mental, really. So good. There are more blocks being added, so on screen right now you should be able to see the granite block that I've added. Well, not I added, what Jeb has been working on is granite. He is planning on making more, but granite is the only one that we know of so far that he's been working on, which is quite a cool idea. So who knows? So that's everything about the blocks and items we know of currently, and the last thing I'd like to talk about is the gaming engine. So I'm not going to be saying there's a new gaming engine, because there isn't. They're staying on the same engine, but they are changing the engine a little bit. So they're hoping to someday add a portable light. So as you guys should know, in one of the mods that I can't remember the name of right now, you can walk around with a torch in your hand, and that torch actually gives off light. They are actually planning of adding that as well into Minecraft. So if you've got a torch in your hand, it's going to be glowing. I personally think that's a great idea, because it allows you to walk around the caves. And now you may be going, but that's a bit OP. But it's not really, because you're not holding a sword, so you're not completely ready. So you're not going to get first attack if a player attacks you. You're going to be hitting them with a torch. So it's not going to really help you out too much, really, if you get jumped. But still, it's a great idea, and I think they should add that one. And it does kind of fit Minecraft, really. And as always, they're always trying to make new ways of making the game run smoother, because if you guys know, every time they update, some updates, they don't like focus on making the game run smooth. They basically add it, make it sure it runs great, so it runs good with the engine, and then they paste it, and then they post it. Problem with that is lower end PCs can't keep up, because the thing is not optimized to them. So that's one thing that they are trying to do, is optimize it to run smoother for all computers, so all computers can run Minecraft at a great FPS, which is good. So that's everything about the weapons combat, blocks, items, and the game engine. So yeah, join me next time where I'll be talking about redstone, commands, terrain generation, dimensions, and all of the other good stuff that they are planning to add into Minecraft. If you haven't already, go and check out my previous video 1.8 where I talked about the themes, the modding API, survival, and the new mobs that they've been planning, and all of that good stuff. So as always guys, leave a like, maybe post a comment if you like, subscribe if you really want to, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace.